All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is a French journalist who put on his yarmulke and walked through the streets of Paris for 10 hours and encountered, we don't have time to play everything, he was spat at, he encountered, catcalls, Viva Palestine, all that. He claims that he was walking through Muslim areas. Joining us now, once again, for the full segment is Roger Simon, co-founder and CEO emeritus of PJ Media and award-winning novelist. Yesterday we had some technical difficulties, and he wrote a great piece, #JewishLivesMatter. Hey, Roger.
Hey, Steve. When you were playing that video, which I saw the other day, all I could think of was a black comic version of the old Adam Sandler song. Remember it? Put on your yarmulke, it's time for Hanukkah.
Yeah, time for Hanukkah, yeah. Goldie Hawn, only half Jewish, not too shabby. Anyway, since we spoke yesterday, this video has come to the surface. Bibi Netanyahu has urged European Jews to come to Israel. We've had the State Department through Maria Harf, who we played all day long, saying we can't beat ISIS by killing them. We have to give them jobs and let them start businesses. So, just when you thought yesterday was nuts, there's even more out there.
I mean, when I heard the jobs thing, I thought of another song. It was the old Coasters hit, "Get a Job."
Remember that one? Yeah.
I mean, that would be. I mean, can you imagine that done by a chorus of ISIS guys? I mean, that would be black comedy beyond the belief. I mean, what's really?
But Roger, your piece, go ahead.
I mean, is how desperate they are not to say the I word. It's just desperate.
Well, and today Eric Holder said, you're all hung up on language. What difference does it make? If Fox News didn't say Islamic terror, they'd have no words to say. Ha, ha, ha. I mean, they're out of their minds. And by the way, we need a hashtag Christians Lives Matter too, because this administration and their condemnation of the slaughter of the, as the Pope called them, 21 martyrs, this administration called them Egyptian citizens.
You're right. I think that the root of it all is that Obama is ashamed of Islamic past. I really believe that. I mean, if I were Islamic
he's ashamed of his Islamic past?
Yeah. Yes. Deeply ashamed, and he can't face it. I mean, if I were Islamic, that's where I feel right now. So much of the Islamic world is having a nervous breakdown. If Jews were doing that, I'm Jewish. If Jews were doing that, I'd be ashamed and embarrassed. I really would. I mean, I'd be working my head off to stop.
But how is he showing he's ashamed? In other words, he's
standing there. Yes, by not mentioning it, by doing anything, by doing cartwheels to say that this is not Islam, it's something else, whatever it is. Everybody in the world knows it obviously is. But he won't say it because he's ashamed of it. I think it's...
and when you say his Islamic past, you mean his father being Islamic and all that, obviously, right?
I mean, him going to a madrasa when he was a kid. When he was formulated, when he was a little boy, he was living in the Islamic world. I mean, I don't think he's a religious person, by the way. I think he's a postmodern agnostic. I don't think he's Christian. I don't think he's anything. But I think his past, his emotional past, and also he does. We're imperialists. It's our fault that they're doing all these crazy things. You know that.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And the only imperialist, quote unquote, nation he could kick around is Israel. So that's why he takes it out on Israel. He really hates Israel, in my opinion.
Oh, not just yours, unfortunately. I mean, that video in Paris is scary. I mean, I used to love Paris. I don't want to go.
All right, so was Netanyahu on target here? Alan Dershowitz earlier said, every Jew has to make that decision for themselves, obviously. But do you believe that Jews would be safer in Israel than they are now in Europe?
Oh, yeah. Yes. I mean, I agree with Alan that everybody has to make his own decision about where he wants to live. There's a whole bunch of factors in that. But I think in terms of safety, of course. I think right now, there's a lot of lunacy going on in Europe, and I hope the hell it doesn't come to this country. I mean,
it seems like it, Roger. It seems inevitable. I hate to say it, but it seems inevitable. And I'll tell you what: if the Democrats walk out or turn their back on or don't show up for Netanyahu's speech, it's going to send a message to every anti-Semite in this country and around the world that this government is somehow on their side. I'm telling you.
I agree. I totally agree. I mean, here's the really fascinating part of the whole thing. I was going to write this tonight for PJ. That is, which is a more important question, whether Iran gets the bomb or whether Netanyahu speaks in front of Congress?
Yeah.
To Obama's
world, yeah, it's Netanyahu. Yeah.
Yeah, right. I mean,
well, we'll look for that. We'll look for that column.
That's an insane comparison.
Got to go, Roger. Roger, we'll look for the column at pjmedia.com. As always, thank you, my friend. Up next, Allison Pataki will be here, daughter of former Governor George Pataki, on her new book, The Accidental Emperor.